this is the finishing, continuing. As you know, I had started off, and with me and my son, we was in the car and everything. The car, we call it out the car vlog chronicles, because these are the conversations that we be having every time we get around each other. But of course, he's gone where he wanted to go to, and I'm back at home. So as I was saying about the name, when we was going, as we was walking, when my son said to me, because y'all know that when I was on Instagram, when I first started out on Instagram and everywhere, I was, my name, it was just E, just plain old me. But during the transition, when I got sick and a lot of stuff that I was going through, honestly, I didn't think about it. And as we was walking, when my son told me, he said, "You're not letting your faith be strong enough." So I looked, because as a child, you know, that's why I always say, these kids don't been here before. And remind you, my son was young, he was in high school. Um, no, he was out of high school when I had got, the first time he was still in high school the first time he was like a little small baby. The third time he was in elementary school, and I think he was in elementary school the second and third time. Then no, the second time he was in elementary school. Then the third time he was in um, middle school. I got it right. Yeah. So y'all know I told y'all I get emotional. So hold on, hold on. The last time he had already graduated from high school and graduated from college. He had just got his bachelor's in business management, and then he started going for personal trainer. So as we was walking, when he said, when I kept saying that I can't, and I was like, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't do that. And then I looked and I said, I don't understand. I said, I want to question God, but I know you're not supposed to question why that I'm going through this. But then I was like, well, you know what? I look at it like this. When you're going through so much, God is, he's already working in your life, but God is about to open big doors of blessing to come on in. You can't be going through so much. When you're going through so much and it seems like everything left and it's not going right, but that's just God opening up that door, preparing you for the bigger and better blessing. You just got to be prepared. So when he said that, I turned around and I looked and he said, "You're not letting your faith be strong enough." I looked again and he said it again. He was like, "You keep saying you are letting your faith be strong enough." He said, "But you showing me actions." This come up out of my son's mouth, y'all. He said, "But you showing me actions that you are not letting your faith be strong enough." Y'all, I promise y'all, I did like this. What? I stopped while we was walking. I looked and I said, "You know what?" I said, that's a good name. And actually, that's how I had ended up getting that name. I had turned it into, went to My Face Strong. As I went through the My Face Strong, someone reached out to me. And when they reached out to me, I didn't know who the person was. Now y'all finna be surprised when I tell y'all who it is. When they reached out to me, and I think it's still up, it was Tommy Lee. I'm not gonna say her real name on here. And she reached out to me, and I was like, okay. So I started doing my own research after that, because when she reached out to me about how I can own my name. And as y'all know, I was on, Joe Luckett radio show. And so I was like, really? So I wasn't really thinking of, for real, I wasn't really thinking about like owning the name or anything. I basically the name is because of what I've been through and what God how God had brought me through so much and is still working with me. Now, like I said, I have my good days, I have my bad days. So I was like, okay. So I sat down and as far as the workout, like I was saying before, you had to see because see, I lost my weight naturally. I lost all of my weight naturally lost it. But then when I gained the weight back, it was because I was running into health problems. I started blowing up. And when this started happening to me, I instead of me losing the weight, what a lot of people lose the weight, I blew up and I didn't know what. And then another thing, y'all, I'm gonna tell you something. Another thing, for real. I thank God that I was around my parents because y'all know how sometimes you around somebody else, somebody gonna say something. I started having an odor. And the odor that I was having, that got something to do with it too. So I did not know that I was having the odor. So happened I was around my mama and when I go in the bathroom and when I come out the bathroom, it was so strong. So I honestly thank God that I was not living at home. I was not living at home. I was living somewhere else. I was in about the hugest this place is now. Those of y'all that saw, I was living in a huge place like this. And that morning that I had got sick, that's when I had got up and went to the bathroom. That's when my mama had came over and she smelled it and she said something to me about it. So I brought it to my doctor's attention and they explained it. I promise you that's one reason why I didn't want to be around nobody because I'm like, if my mama smell it, and then I'm like, you better not catch no attitude with nobody. Cause I'm like, if not saying, I wouldn't have got mad at a friend of mine for telling me, but you know how some, but I was like, okay, if somebody say something about their odor, they say anything, I promise you, I was going to go slap off. And I was like, okay, guys, I just go to punch it. And then I was like, I didn't need to be doing that to nobody. Y'all know I carry on foolishness and everything. So the name, I end up, back to what I was saying, because y'all know I had to carry on anyway. I end up going on, turning around, got the name, went through, went and got the name legalized, like as far as owning it. Even I went through a process with something called with the Google. Y'all know I don't even trust Google for real, but I went through the process with Google. So what I did, I went in my local where I was living at. I went in my local area. They had told me that I had to go down to the courthouse and fill out some forms and to pay for it and everything. They told me about the Secretary of State and go through all of this. And I was like, well, I got to go through the Secretary of State for, just the name. But I had ended up getting everything copyrighted. And I can tell y'all details about how to own all of that stuff later on. But some of y'all know because I have mentioned it. I end up getting the name. It's legally mine, and that's why I be saying that I own that name. I own that name, and can't nobody take that name from me. Even if they was to put it on something, y'all watch the stories and y'all seen. Even if they put on something, it's a little sticker that's in the back of everything that I have. And so when I end up, and that's why when my son be like, when we walking, if y'all notice, he'll say, he gonna take the name back. So actually, basically, it was my son that come up with that name because he was basically saying that I wasn't letting my faith be strong enough.